Soul 3, a realistic epic fantasy adventure by Wdowski. Note: for your full enjoyment, be sure to read or listen to the end and continue to the next chapter. Chapter 20. Dale rubbed the sleep from his eyes and looked up to see Pixa hovering above him. The morning sun shined through the open tent flap and highlighted her very small but attractive frame. "Good morning." "Good morning, Dale," she smiled. Dale could hear chopping of wood and the falling of trees outside the tent. He hurriedly got up and put on his vest and gun belt. As he tied down the holster, he asked, "What time is it?" "It is still early morning," Pixa explained. "Chopson had your men felling pines to build the rafts a few hours ago." "A few hours ago?" He was upset. "Why didn't they wake me? I need to help too." "We all felt it was important we allowed you to sleep." Pixa defended their decision. "You clearly needed it." He quickly walked out of his tent. The scent of fresh-cut pines and the smoke of roaring fires were heavy in the air. Several pines were being delimed and stained with pine tar, mixed with the gallons of linseed oil they had brought with them from East Riverton. The mixture was a simple and natural way to waterproof the logs. As they were completed, they were all being propped up near the large fires to quicken the curing process. Dale approached Chopson, who was working over a pair of makeshift sawhorses he had constructed. With one of the spearmen, he was using a two-man steel saw to slice out usable pine planks. Dale looked over at another two men that were carving oars from an eastern red spruce. Oars, not poles. Even this far north, the great river is too deep for poles. Oars are the only way. Chopson replied as continued to work with the other man, sawing out usable planks. At least for the first crossing. He pointed to two other men coiling together an extremely long rope. "Once we can get one raft to the west bank, we can string a tight rope across the river. The following rafts will pull across using the rope. It will be faster than rowing and prevent us from drifting downriver. When we return, we will have all the rafts on the west bank and the rope already in place to make our return crossing." "It seems you thought everything out." Dale was happy with Chopson's progress. "Well done, but I still wish you had woken me so I could also be lending a hand." Chopson looked at Pixa hovering over Dale's right shoulder. "She insisted we allow you to sleep. We all agreed you needed it." Dale was curious. "Chopson, when did you learn so much about river crossings?" "You're a woodsman, not a shipwright. I guess Greendale never told you." "Told me what?" "We both fought in the border troubles against East Steerburg. We had to learn to transverse rivers quickly and strategically." Dale was puzzled, and surprised Greendale had told him nothing about this conflict. "The border trouble? 25 years ago, East Steerburg was expanding. They attempted to seize our furthest western grazing lands for their cattle. Why didn't he mention any of this to me? We resolved the conflict under Greendale's leadership. When it was all said and done, he didn't want to continue animosity with a fellow human settlement. Once the troubles were over, we had secured our eastern fields and actually established very favorable trade deals with the Steerbergmen." "You mentioned strategically." Dale wanted to understand more. "Greendale had the great idea of using a minor force on the west bank of the Thames River to lock the Steerberg forces in place. That night, as quietly as possible, Greendale moved out 2/3 of our forces and marched us north. Further up the river, we built rafts late at night. By morning, we crossed the river unchallenged. When the Steerbergmen were at their most vulnerable, during their attempt to cross the river against our smaller contingent, we attacked them from behind with our main force. They never knew what hit them. It was a massacre, nothing Greendale was proud of. 25 years ago, you were only a teenager." Dale pointed out. "I was 18, the same age Pete is now. It was my father that built the rafts. I was there to assist and learn from him. I understand more and more why Greendale insisted you being on this mission." He patted Chopson on his left shoulder. "I am glad he did. What I don't understand is why he didn't put you in command." "Me, in command? No." Chopson found the idea repulsive. "I can figure out how we can cross the river. I am a builder, a woodsman. You, Major Dale, have Greendale's tactical and strategic talents. You also have diplomatic talents he and I do not have. He looked at Pixa, Zup, and Josh. No. Greendale made the right choice putting you in command of this mission. I'll get us across the great river. That's my job. How can I help? Dale asked. Continuing to saw out planks. Chopson looked around for something for Dale to do. Honestly, we have everything covered. We'll have all the elements ready for curing before noon. Tending the fires overnight, all the elements will be cured by morning. First thing in the morning, we'll lash the logs together and nail the planks on top. We should be ready to cross before midday tomorrow. The hard part will be getting the first raft across. Once we establish the pull line on both banks, we will be able to move all our men and horses quickly to the west bank. The only supplies we'll need on the pack horses will be food, water, and tents. Everything else we'll be able to leave here: saws, nails, tar, linseed oil, hammers. At this point, Chopson was merely listing out loud the logistics of the operation. I get it, Dale cut him off. So I am useless. When he said that, he noticed, to his surprise, Bruce emerged from the woods, carrying one end of a pine log into the campsite to be prepared. Dale looked to Pixa, still hovering just above his shoulder. Really? His eyes directed her to Bruce, with him flying and holding in his small hands one of the ends of the log. Bruce is a lot stronger than he looks, Pixa calmly explained. He has been very helpful all morning, Chopson added between his sawing. Our men need to take breaks at times. He is non-stop, same with the quadron. If we had 5 of them, we would have already been finished, preparing all the logs we would need. I may not be a fairy or a quadron, but there must be some way I can pitch in. Chopson stopped sawing for a moment. He looked around the campsite one more time. Seeing how everyone in their team were working hard and had their assigned duties, he looked back at Dale. As I told you before, we really do have everything covered. Go plan what we will need to do when we are finally on the other side. That is your job. Get us to our objectives as safely and quickly as possible, fill our pack horses with what Greendale needs, and get those chemicals back to East Riverton as quickly and safely as possible. Dale repeated. Are you sure there is nothing I can do to help? Go, do your job, we are doing ours. He looked at the man on the other side of the bandsaw, and they began sawing again. Using a tree stump as a table, Dale spread out the map Greendale had given him. Dale had never crossed the great river. It will be the furthest west he has ever been. The map was drawn on sheepskin, more durable than paper. He used the compass to best position the map to understand where they were and where their objectives are. Dale found the compass amazingly useful, especially if it were cloudy or at night. He was confident if he did not have the compass, he could still know his way by the time of day and position of the sun, or by the stars. By late afternoon, all the elements to construct the rafts were completed. They were all propped up near several large fires to cure the sealants. The job now was to just keep the fires going all night, something the guard shifts would have to do. Pixa spent most of her day hovering over Dale. It was the first time she could converse with him. Christine made a mistake. Did she? He looked up at her. You are a good man, Dale. There are not many good men in the world. Are you so sure? I don't think I am any better than most men. I know I am far from perfect. We are all not perfect. You seem to be. You are the most perfect being I have ever known. The power to heal, the power to repel the foulest demons, able to bring simple joy to children with a tickle, the power not to use your feminine ways to sway others for what you want. It is not common. You are more like the pure goodness of an angel than the mischievous mystical fairies in our fables. Dale thought of the bar maidens that showed interest in him, and Christine, who was very loving until she felt she could trade up to the butcher. I am also unable to be awake at night, and I know I am too small for you, she answered. I am far from perfect. At least Christine and the bar maidens can physically be with you, share the night with you, wake with you. Dale was surprised with her response. Your being too small may not be the problem. Oh, then what is the problem? He smiled at her. Perhaps the problem is I am too big? She laughed. Perhaps. The day was ending as the sun was beginning to set. You and Bruce will be able to sleep in the trees tonight, which I know you prefer. We won't be crossing until morning. I feel more secure in your tent. Do you mind if I sleep in your tent tonight? Sure, Pixa, you are most welcome to. Just wake me when you do. I don't want to sleep too late again. I want to pitch in. I want to help with assembling the rafts. Thank you, Dale. I promise I will. She gave him a big smile before flying to his tent to enter her deep sleep for the night. Bruce, also seeing the sun setting, chose to spend the night in the branches of a nearby old oak tree.